This is Dental All-Stars, where we bring you the best in dentistry on marketing, management, and training. Here's your host, Alex Nottingham.
Welcome to Dental All-Stars. I'm Alex Nottingham, founder and CEO of All-Star Dental Academy. And with me is Patrick Chavoustie, the CEO of Omni Premier. And this interview is part of a collection of interviews focusing on business and personal growth. And our topic today is discovering your why. Now, on the subject of practice growth, we have an entire event dedicated to personal and business growth for you and your team, and that's the All-Star Practice Growth Summit this upcoming May 17th and 18th in South Florida, and you can learn more about the event at allstardentalevents.com. Please welcome Patrick.
Alex, I'm so thankful to be here. Every few months or maybe every quarter, I get this letter in the mail about voting for the best podcast in the dental industry. I'm gonna rate yours number one just because of the pronunciation of my last name. I mean, you got it 100%. It's Chavoustie. You nailed it. It's so hard to do, and you got it right. You're number one just for that alone, Alex. Thanks for letting me be here.
Well, you've coached me on this in prior podcasts beforehand, and that means a lot coming from you as you have one of the top dental marketing podcasts, a great program, The Dental Brief. So it's really cool. Two podcasters here having a good time. So I was talking about the Practice Growth event, the Practice Growth Summit, and you're going to be there. You're one of our headline speakers, one of our headline I wouldn't even say just sponsor, but you're actually one of our producers, to help this event happen. And that's going to be relevant in terms of our conversation today, which is marketing. I mean, you're the marketing guru, people to come to you about marketing. And, we can spend an entire, and I know you're pretty cavalier with this because you don't want to go with just, okay, give me all the newest marketing tactics because you know it all, but that's not going to help you in terms of to your customer. And as I was mentioning before, you've helped us with the All-Star Dental Events website in terms of making sure as a part of the topic, your why is clear. So first, tell me a little bit about growth in general. Why is that important and why you chose, you're a very busy person, very successful to be at the event, helping to support this event. So why is this event important to come to, and why is this idea of growth important?
So I'll tell you why I went to the first All-Star event. It was last year, and the reason why I went to is the number one problem that my clients seem to have when they have piles of leads in front of them is actually getting to them, making effective phone calls, answering the phone effectively, following up with people effectively, having amazing, a lot of people call sales skills. I don't really think they're sales skills. I think they're people skills, but they really struggled in that. So I thought, hey, how can I dive deeper into this to learn more, to help my clients with this? What I discovered through that time was, hey, this is probably not something at the time to help my clients with. I don't have the resources, and you guys have put it all together. You've made it easy. You have All-Star Dental Academy. So you've made it super simple for people to get the information and the help and the expertise they need. So for me, going was to learn, maybe to kind of copy a little bit. But when I went to that very first event, I was like, wow, people are pumped up here. A lot of awesome things are going on. Team members from their staff was on fire, which is something that I don't see very often. Mostly it seems like they're dragged to it. I actually had to do a work call in the parking lot after a break, and I was listening to some of the team members from practices that were coming back in, and the things that they were saying were just outstanding. So that's why I'm coming back. That's why I'm investing in helping build this and helping more dental practices learn more about what you guys are doing and how you're helping really set practices on fire. I mean, it's just awesome what you guys are doing.
And kind of warming up your topic about your why, and you'll correct me if this is part of it, is that for this practice growth, for example, where I talk about business and personal growth for you and your entire team, it is a why that it's not about me. It's not like the Alex show or the Eric show, or it's a collection of great business people in dentistry, dentists as well, part of the speakers and non-dentists alike, saying, what is the best stuff out there that we're seeing and how can we all share it? this mastermind effect. And what's the newest thing? Not stuff that we've heard before, that I can do, that I can be exposed to, that can, like you mentioned, the team is excited and they come back not just implementing the concepts, but they're more energized. How do we do that? And that's speaking to, why are we doing this? And as you can see, as I'm speaking about it, and that's what you've done such a great job helping produce the program, the event, is helping, hey, Alex, this is what you're saying. How do I get this on a website that people can understand it? Same thing with dental marketing. How do I take what you're trying to do and get that conveyed? You can say, I want SEO, I want pay-per-click. You're missing the point. That's a tactic, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of speaking to the why. So tell me again about the why. A lot of people come to you and say, Patrick, get me pay-per-click. Get me on number one on Google. Get me a local search. And you're like, whoa there, cowboy. You're missing something. So tell me about this why that you're really passionate about, and why.
Well, for me, and I'm going to get into details about this during the week in Fort Lauderdale.
Right. Don't give it all away, because we got to come see it.
I'm not going to give it all away. But for me, it's way outside of myself. For my
Right.
team, it's way outside of them. Right. So, of course, we all need to make a living. I think a lot of people get into dentistry because they have kind of that STEM background. They like science. Maybe they like people. Maybe they don't like people. Right. They like working with their hands. And then they become a dentist. Right. They work as an associate. And then so many people feel like they need to own a practice because it's just the next step. It's kind of like your parents told you that, you're supposed to get married and have kids and all these things. There's these steps that we're supposed to do. And I think dentists think that. And I think, and I know it's not a popular thing, that a lot of dentists probably shouldn't start a practice, that it's just not right for them. And following that, just for the sake of following it, is not ideal for a lot of people. So for those who did, or those who wanted to start a practice because they felt like they should, and now they're in a practice and they've kind of lost their motivation, why has to be so much bigger than what you do on a daily basis. It has to be bigger than just treating patients. When people talk to me, younger people talk to me about, hey, what should I do for my life? What kind of career, what kind of field should I go into? What should I do? I always tell people, trade your time for the most amount of money as possible. That's what you need to do. There's this thing that we have to love what we do for work. And it's nice when you do, but typically that changes. If you think about your entire life, Alex, some of the things that you loved to do 25 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, you don't even care about now, right? You have a younger child. I know. So I know that's changed a little bit. Professionally, some of the things that we love to do will change. When we take a why that is outside of what we do on a day-to-day basis to earn money, and we focus in on that why, it makes every day, the tough days, the hard days, awesome in our work, because we know why we're doing what we're doing. We're not just doing it to make money. We're not just doing it to help patients. It's bigger than that. We fall in love with it. We get motivated. We get pumped up, and it just takes our careers, our lives, our relationships to a whole nother level. Does that make sense to you?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And okay, so you're saying that now, does our why change? Let me ask you this. Does our why change over the years?
Of course.
It does.
Yeah.
And
what you love to do for a living will change over the years. Absolutely.
Will change. Okay. Yeah. And again, in terms of marketing, right? Because you're the marketing expert.
Sure.
How does the why play into my marketing efforts? How does it, because again, business growth, right? Part of growth, and I put marketing under probably at least business growth, although, is I want more patients.
Yeah.
You're the guy. I want more patients. Now, of course, phone skills, internal referrals, just referrals in general, those will generate you more business. But sometimes I need some firepower. I need, like a guy like Omni to come help me. And then you go, okay, it's your why. That's the problem. Tell me about that. Ain't the connection for me. I want a tactic, Patrick. I want to know the one thing today to do. And you're slowing me down here. What's going on?
Yeah, so you're not going to get the one thing today. It's not going to happen.
Okay.
There isn't one thing today. If you look at, it's just after the first of the year, so many people are trying to get in better shape and have New Year's resolutions about health and all that kind of stuff. And they're looking for the newest fad diet. But if you look at Arnold Schwarzenegger in 70, 68, 72, somewhere on there, he wasn't using a fad diet from 2024 in order to be the beast that he is and that he was, right? He didn't need that fad diet. People didn't need fad diets in 1945 to be in amazing shape, right? So what I do want to do is back up a little bit here on the term marketing that you mentioned multiple times. I believe what you do is just as much marketing as what we do. So I believe that marketing is everything that happens in your practice that a patient or a potential patient may see. So I believe that marketing is the way that you answer your phone. It's probably the most overlooked part of marketing, right? It's the way that you answer the phone. I believe that marketing is the way that your lamps look, right? Is there spit on your lamps? That is marketing your practice. Marketing is intentional and unintentional, right? It's both. It's just everything that is possibly happening. So when you look at the why, when you look at the cleanliness of a practice, if you look at the cleanliness of an op, and I'm not talking about sterilization, I'm talking about maybe a little spider web up in the top corner or a water stain on a ceiling tile, those types of things, right? When you look at that, it's all about the why. If you're pumped up about what you're doing, that ceiling tile now is something that you look at totally differently. Instead of going, I need to fix that someday, you're like, I got to get this done right now because my why is this important. Right? What I'm doing is absolutely this important. So when your why is something that you're completely passionate about and something that is also long lasting, marketing your practice becomes much easier. Then you start to look at marketing tactics, right? As you use that word, I use that word tactics because that's what they are. Marketing tactics are one part of your entire marketing plan. Then you start to go, hey, my why is so important to me. Maybe I need funds for my why. Maybe my why is for my entire team to have a 3-day work week for the rest of their lives and still make the same kind of money as 5 days. When you really have that why focused in on, then you start to look at advertising going, hey, where am I going to get the best ROI? Where am I going to get the types of patients that I need in order to connect with my why and make my why happen quicker or sooner or more consistently?
That's pretty awesome, the way you're thinking about how you're using why, and also how you have just expanding the view of marketing. Because I'll often say in my 5 steps to an all-star practice is vision, right? And even vision / why, like why are you doing what you're doing? And that everything that is your why, that is your vision, you match it up to that to say, if it is, I do it, right? I'm held to that standard. Now, what's interesting is you really can start expanding, because where does marketing start? And like you said, okay, so the phones is part of marketing, absolutely, because you made a phone call and you want to see, is it can jive with the referral source website or whatever. And then also when they come in and see you, the patient exam, the patient experience, again, still part of that marketing / sales process. And you can go even further. Every team member, okay, is a marketing vehicle. Not just who they refer, but when they speak to patients, when they're around. And are we pulling into them? Because this is, again, back to having a tactical approach versus a strategic or big picture approach. Because again, not to be self-serving, but doing an online training like All-Star Dental Academy or going to these events, right? Because you say, well, Practice Growth Summit, I'm taking somebody to the event. That's different. Going to an event is different for my team. That is marketing.
Yeah.
Because now you're pouring into them. They become a marketing tactic. Their result, they become a marketing. It's like you just create an mini omni-dental marketing agents, because they're exposed to this and they can't stop spreading the word about it to everybody.
Right.
And that enthusiasm fuels marketing. So that really, I never looked at it that way. I certainly looked at a point of vision, but you're like, how can we, I would actually ask the question, not to you, but rhetorical to the group. How can you expand your view of marketing and the impact of marketing?
Yeah. I'm going to kind of dive into something that you mentioned a little bit, talking about the team members, right? And getting them to be marketing ambassadors for your practice, right?
Yeah,
marketing
ambassadors, good word.
It happens, right? Think about this when it comes to these types of events. And the beginning of the year, I mapped out, last year, the end of last year, 2023, I mapped out, okay, here's but I'm going to financially invest. And then this is above reading. This is above all the stuff I do on a daily basis to keep in the loop on what's going on and even try to get ahead of it. But that this is the events that I'm going to. These are the ones that I'm going to pay for. These are also the ones that I'm going to pay for my team members to go to. A long time ago when I was younger, had a full head of hair, I would have never, ever thought to invest in my team like that, because I thought, oh, they might leave. I'm going to spend this money on them. Then they're going to go and what have you. I look at it totally different now. If I can invest on a team member, if I can invest on taking my team member to an event where they're going to learn a lot, that's going to build their career, that's going to help them no matter where they go, why wouldn't I want to do that? If they leave in a week or 2 weeks after that event that I spent a bunch of money on to send them to,
Well,
I don't care.
Here's the
awesome.
great quote. My Uncle Jay said to me, he's a medical consultant, it's what happens if I train them and they leave? The proper question is, what happens if I don't train them and they stay?
Yes, 100%. Right. So that's the logistical part of it, right? That's the logic. That's how this helps your business, right? Train people in your business are awesome, but it's also the investing in people. And that should probably be part of everybody's why. Again, I'm not going to give too much away now, but it's investing in other people. It's making them better. It's giving them more opportunity, right? I believe this. It doesn't matter, anyone's spiritual belief. Someone told me this years ago, and I totally believe this, that God won't give you what won't flow through you. And I believe that 100%. Like you have to be able, in order to keep it, you have to be willing to give it away. And investing in your team member, investing in their families, investing in their education, investing in what they may bring to one of your competitors, right, is an amazing, or is a part of an amazing why, in my opinion. It's not all of it, but it's part of it. Invest in people. It's so important. It's marketing your practice.
And you look at Disney, for example, or you look at the Ritz-Carlton, there's no question about their politics aside. I'm just saying in terms of the company product of going to like we just went to the park, right? They will clean up the dew in the resorts to make it look a certain way. Everything is meticulous. And you know what they're trying to create. They have a magical adventure for little girls and boys that want to go there, right? And they are maniacal about what they're doing. Their why is clearly expressed as you see those long lines that people will pay tons of money to wait for. Again, whether you like it at Disney or not, it's a lot of waiting, but we're clear. Ritz-Carlton will not allow you to touch the phone without 90 days of phone training. Yeah. And you know the standard of the Ritz-Carlton and how they take care of you. I visited the Ritz. You ask them to read the motto. They know the motto by heart, what they stand for. So you can see their why is coming through in their messaging. And as you know, as a branding expert yourself, Patrick, you know what they stand for in the marketplace. Yeah. And as a dental practice, have you established that, and where do you stand for? And, push comes to shove, right? What investments have you made in yourself and others? And CE, look, I come from a family of doctors. I'm the black sheep lawyer, but the rest are doctors. My dad told me don't be a dentist, okay? Because he struggled with the business side of it. But, I mean, where are they investing their money? On more burrs and more CE. And my dad always say, why am I not getting patients? Or my uncle, who's a plastic surgeon, he'd say, why am I not getting the patients? I'm the best out there, the most trained. Nobody gives a hoot. No, because it's how did you make them feel? How is your messaging out there? And when you change your messaging, then your marketing and then that growth, what happens? But you got to be congruent, and you got to be talking about what they want to talk about, the patients and what they're looking for.
When it comes to the why, and I'm glad you brought up Disney, and my family enjoys Disney. I've been twice. Disneyland, we go to California because it's closer to us. I'm here in Colorado. On my last trip, which was over the right before New Year's, decided I got to read this book. I don't know if you picked it up or not, but it's The Ride of a Lifetime by Robert. It's Igor Iger, former CEO of Disney. Yeah. It's supposed to be a fantastic book. I'm blown away. I come back with business ideas and marketing ideas from visiting Disney. And my son just turned 18. We took him for his birthday. And I thought to myself, like, you talk about, this is probably a a great place to go work for 2 years before you figure out what you want to do in college. I mean, the SOPs, how much they invest in their people, the success of their people, the people, and I was going to say taking tickets, but standing by the scanners where you scan your phone to get on rides, those people, like, they're obviously investing in their team members. And I think that's huge. I mean, I think it's critical. And talking about whys, Walt Disney, which I know very little about, almost nothing about, but I know that he didn't start Disneyland first, right? I know that his why didn't necessarily change, but his businesses did, right? So why he did it, I think his why was probably bringing joy to kids or happiness to kids or making it great. Somewhere in there was his why. I'm not exact. I don't know what it was, but his businesses did change, right? Disneyland started way after. Mickey's just 100 years old. But I think Disneyland started in the 1950s. So you can do the math, right? So whys may not necessarily change as far as the things that you do, right? I'm not talking about the things that you love to do, your hobbies. Maybe you didn't like golf and now you like golf. I'm not talking about those, but I'm talking about the why that drives your life mission, the why that drives your professional, your relationships. That why, I think, is something to get laser beam focused in on. And set a course and hit that.
And Patrick, just in terms of continuity and consistency, like, these are things that we're talking about together as we continue to improve the Practice Growth Summit and the website and the marketing. You're like, Alex, guys, hey, this is not the why. I mean, Patrick's tough on us. He's like, no, that's not it. No, let's be clear. What do they want? What is the why? And so that's why coaching, mastermind events are so critical. I mean, I was just talking to one of our mastermind members right before that. I'm like, I learned just as much from you guys as you share. Every book, I got to get that. I got to know, what is everybody doing? And so you can compare. I mean, look, most dentists feel like they're on an island. Here's where I'm at, the same thing, and going to a local event or study club is not the same. But we can go rub shoulders with others like-minded that are doing this. And to me, I'm not pitching an event. I'm talking about a movement where we're all together. And by the way, I have other podcasters coming. I have Paul Etchinson and Dr. Paul Etchinson and Dr. Todd Snyder. Both of them have great top podcasts out there. So I'm bringing the top podcasters as well, like yourself and others, to this event, speaking, sharing. So a lot of fun to be around. This is a movement. We're all together in this movement. And it's like, I'm selfish because I want to be around all you people and learn, and there are others out there that are junkies. I wouldn't call CE junkies, learning and personal growth junkies. And the dentist listening, let's get our team around that energy to learn. And I want to invite all of you on that journey to join myself, Patrick, and the other great speakers at the Practice Growth event. As I mentioned, it's going to be May 17th and 18th. In the sunny South Florida area. That's the All-Star Practice Growth Summit. That's allstardentalevents.com. Very easy to find. And we keep updating the website to make it more and more beautiful. And as well, remember to follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. That would be a cool one, Spotify, and YouTube. Get the episodes as they're released. Share with your friends. We're going to have more of these Practice Growth podcast interviews to share with you, some of the speakers that we're going to have at the events, and give you some tips. Today we talked about your why. It was a very, and not just that, also how to expand marketing, your view of marketing, not so tactically, but how it really affects nearly everything in your business. Thank you, Patrick, so much for being on the show. And until next time, go out there and be an all-star.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Dental All-Stars. Visit us online at allstardentalacademy.com.